For your perspective, it was helped by Asia and China sales. Europe, U.S., not as good. Can the bifurcation continue for Hermes here?
Yes. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I think, the strength of Asia and the strength of China in particular is a theme which has been recurring since the end of the first wave in China, and revenge spending becoming quite material. And the repatriation of spending as well is what is really driving the strength of the market, with basically Chinese spending all concentrated domestically at the moment. So I think this outperformance of China should continue if there are no external conditions to change it. At the same time, we could probably hope that the gap starts to reduce. There were some specific constraints for Hermes, which kept, for example, the U.S. performance down in terms of the stores which were not fully opened in terms of network. But certainly we would expect this gap to close gradually, at least for the whole sector.
For the time being, though, Francesca, is the growth out of China enough to compensate for the lack of growth elsewhere?
So, well, in the case of the companies that have reported so far, we have seen that a combination of a very, very powerful growth in China and resilience or some sustained spending in other areas is compensating for the lack of travel of tourist business, which is particularly impacting markets in Europe. But this clearly depends on the mix of geographies and depends on the strength of the brand and depends on the product categories. So generally, I would say that just China being very, very strong is probably not enough, but China and something else is potentially a good combination.
What about e-commerce? I feel like if they were able to, luxury tends to not be more e-commerce related. E-commerce would be huge, say, in the U.S.
The e-commerce has actually made a huge, had a huge upside for the whole sector since COVID, and companies were already quite well equipped in most regions to capitalize on the shift in demand online. And it is very strong in the U.S., but it has been developing, and it's been a great source of relief in terms of sales performance in other geographies as well. So the consumer in luxury globally is embracing online with a little bit more enthusiasm than it has been in the past. Although the store performance, as the stores have reopened, has also been, in certain areas quite robust, especially in mainland China.